Hi, today I want to talk about an underutilized feature in the financial series called transaction matching. Transaction matching enables you to take individual lines from a journal entry or entire journal entries and match them together so that they can form common events, such as all your month-end transactions can be included together, all your year-end transactions can be included together. And an interesting way to work that one of my blog readers just asked me about is it can do some project tracking. I did a little bit of research and did a little bit of playing and added a couple things to it to make that expand into a very, very minor league but a little bit user-intensive project planning system. So let's take a look at how it's set up. I'm in the financial series, and the first thing that you have to do is you do have to, at a minimum, open up the setup window, and that'll create the setup file. Now, though, it'll ask you about the next link number and just let it default. And then there are a couple options. Do you want your links to balance? So if you want your debits and credits to match each other, then you will want to mark that option. If you're using this for a super lightweight project system, project tracking system, definitely don't do that. If you're looking at it for month-end closings and year-end closings, then you probably do want it to balance. Do you want it just to link to one GL account? And do you want the ability to delete links? And if you do, then you can mark it. And you also have the ability to put a password on that. And I'm going to unmark that. I don't want the ability to delete those. So I'll close it up, and now it's ready to use. So let's start using it. So the first thing we're going to do under the transactions is just simply click on transaction matching. And then you could create a link such as month-end closing, and you can attach transactions to that if you want to. I'm going to put in an account number, and let's see, let me change the year, and we can see transactions, and if I want to link them, I'll just simply click on the year. I can also narrow down my search by journal entries and source documents so I can find particular transactions that I'm interested in, including debits and credits. And that's all it takes to creating the links. Let's take a look at the journal entry one I've created. So if you notice nothing's appearing here, but I do have quite a few transactions. So if I wanted to add to this, I would simply just add to it. And I can add it that way. Now, once you've added all your links, under Inquiry, you have the ability to look at your links. So I'm going to start with link number 1, and I can see all the transactions that I've created, including the last one that I just created for account 6510. I can then go to link number 2, and here's the entries I created for 6510. You could also print this edit list, or inquiry list, by just clicking it to the screen and printing it out. And it's a nice screen, it does list everything out, but it doesn't do much as far as putting it in order by account numbers. Now there are some reports you can use. Let's open up the report. We'll go to transaction matching, and you can select which of these items you're interested in using. So for example, I'm going to do a link number report, and I'm going to say link number 1 to link number 1, insert it, and I'll print that. And you can see it essentially prints the same thing as the inquiry. Now, based on the person who asked me the question from my blog on using it for lightweight project, that really doesn't do much for me for project management as far as reporting goes. So one of the things I've done is created this view where I've linked together the links with the general ledger transactions, and there's open and historical, and I've linked them together, and I've put this in a view in my system. So if you're interested, this might be a point where you want to pause it or copy this script down. And I'm going to minimize that. And let's see how I can utilize that feature. So in Excel, I'll go to Data, Other Sources, and Microsoft Query. And you could use any industry standard reporting tool you like. And I'm going to link to Query and make sure I've got the right database. I prefer doing that here because it takes a little less time. And I'm going to select my view that I want. And I called it V_transaction matching detail. And let's take a look. So I'm going to just add every column that I've put in. And you can see I've added quite a few columns. So I have the link number, the description. There's the one we just created. Account number, account description, journal entry, the date, the year, the period, the amount, the net effective debit and credit, source document, reference, description, and who it posted it, and if it came from another module, that module information. So I'm going to return that data to Excel, and now I have the capacity to do a power pivot or a pivot table. So I'm going to add a pivot table, and those of you who know me know I love pivot tables. I think it's one of the coolest way to work. So first thing I'm going to do is grab my account number and put it down in my rows, and then I'm going to take my amount and put it in values. And it counts them at first, so I'm going to change the field value to make it sum. And I do recommend that you change it at least to a number or a currency. And the reason I recommend this is because if you keep it as a general, if it's a large number, you might end up with a scientific calculation instead of the number. And here is like a little quick and dirty statement. Now, I don't like the account number being there, so let's change it and put in description and take out account number. And I almost have a little financial statement here. And I could do a little bit more because I'm in 2010. I can add some slicers. I'm going to add the year, the period, and I also want to add the link number. So I have these 3 slicers. So now I can say just show me link number 1, just show me 2004, and just show me period 1. Or I can say show me 2010 period 4. Or I could close out all my links altogether. I also could add a chart here. So on my pivot table, under option, I'll choose pivot chart, select the chart I want, and now it's chart. And it's dynamically charted. So you can notice as I change with my slicer, my chart updates accordingly. Now this is power. I hope this helps.